Today we're going to be making this Happy Spring Tulip card. This can be created on your Cricut or Silhouette machine, and you're gonna see that it's a really fun, quick, easy way to create a greeting card that you can use for a number of different things.
I just wanted to show you this really quick. So I'm doing several cuts on this pink, and I wanted to show you what a difficult time this Happy was having in cutting. And even this, like something caught here, and so I cut it again, and I'm just cutting it on the same thing. But when I extracted and did the A and the Y separately, I was able to get it done. This is the kind of thing your customers are going to run into and they're going to get frustrated with. So I wish I had laid out this Happy a little bit further apart, because I think it would have cut much easier.
So you can see that the pieces here are pretty basic. There is a green, some pink. The hardest part is cutting out, if you decide you want to do it, cutting out your lettering and using transfer tape. This cut really difficultly, and that is because I did it with paper. If you do this in vinyl, it will be a breeze compared to the way that I did it. So I did it in paper, which means that it was like super tiny cuts. So just be aware of that. It's just because I wanted it to match my tulips, okay? So we're gonna get started. This is pretty quick to put together. So if you're looking for a sweet, sentimental card to send someone rather quickly and you don't have a ton of time, this is the card for you. We're going to start with Elmer's glue, and I'm just going to add all of my tulips. Now, if you wanted to, you could pop dot this piece. I'm not going to today because I'm going to pop dot the back of these, and instead I'm just going to glue on with Elmer's glue. And by the way, you can purchase these files in my Silhouette shop, in my Etsy shop, or even at my CarinaGardner.com shop. My CarinaGardner.com shop, oh my gosh, I can't even talk, has a lot of my bigger projects and things that are exclusively on my own site. So I recommend you check that out because that is where I keep a lot of my good stuff. Okay. All right. So look at that. Pretty quick and easy to put together. And then I have this darker layer right here, and we'll just glue that on. This actually cut very fast. So once again, if you're looking for a fast and easy project, and this is a really great beginner project as well, especially if you cut out your Happy Spring directly in vinyl, not in paper. If you are cutting it in paper, let me give you a couple of tips on it. The first one is use a really sticky mat. So a newer mat is going to hold your lettering for paper much easier. And by the way, the paper I'm using is 65-pound paper, so it's a little bit thicker than normal, okay? And the second thing is to slow down the speed of your pen or your knife. So when I cut out the spring pieces, I did them all at one. So I was just being really, really careful about it, okay? All right, so if we're going to layer this, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop dot the pink, and I'm going to not pop down the darker pink. So it's gonna look layered. This is what I'm saying, but I'm wondering what it's going to look like. So we're going to start with this. I'm using pop dots I got at my craft store. I've seen them, they come in square. They also come in circles. So depending on, if you have a preference there, I'm using a bigger one. That way it will hold better because I'm not planning on putting one down on the stem. It'll just make it hold a little bit better. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to use one of these little ones on the leaves. That's what's going to hold it in place. So not on the stems, but the leaves. So here's a smaller version. And I'm just going to put that down here on the leaf. So you can see where like a circle pop dot might work a little bit better here just to hold it all in place. The point is stability, right? We just want it stable so that it stays on and doesn't fall off in transition. Because this is definitely a card you can throw in an envelope. It's a 6x4 envelope. or yeah, a 6x4 card, so it goes in a 6x4 envelope. So it should hold up pretty well in a standard envelope if you want to mail it. And I know a lot of you love mailing your cards, or putting it in an envelope and giving it for a birthday or whatever else, which, by the way, you absolutely can switch up this Happy Spring to something else. All right, so we're going to pop dot this in. I'm just going to put it right along the edge right there and use my fingers to put those into place. And then you see how you kind of get that dimension by putting this one down. So I'm just going to use stick glue for this. You could use hot glue. I mean, there's nothing holding you back from it. Hot glue kind of makes a bigger mess though, especially for cards. So I end up using stick glue quite often. All right, lay that in place. I also like stick glue because you can kind of maneuver it a little bit. You get a little more time. And if you're having trouble getting in here, you can use like your silhouette hook to get it in. Okay, so we're going to put in the Happy Spring, and I want to make sure that it fits. But once again, I'm just using stick glue. If you use vinyl, it's basically a sticker, so you don't have to worry about it, which is really, really nice. It's one of my favorite things about using vinyl. And you can see here that I'm even having trouble keeping it on the transfer tape in order to put the stick glue on it. If you're having that trouble, here's a little tip. I am going to grab, you can use like one of your hooks, like if you have one of these kinds of hooks, I'm gonna use this one right here. And I just like will pull a bit off of the glue and just bring it on top of this lettering. It's definitely way trickier than using, way trickier than using vinyl. All right, I'm gonna turn it over and lay it in place. And the nice thing, especially with paper, with vinyl you can't do this, but with paper I can maneuver things around. So like just push it into the place you want it to sit. And then we're going to do the spring one. Okay, I'm gonna highly recommend you do this in vinyl. It's, you know, it's so funny because I used to do all of this kind of stuff in paper, but it's so funny because like now that I work so much in vinyl, it just makes a lot of sense to do it in vinyl because it's so much faster. I'm just dropping pop dots on the back of this paper, and I recommend putting it in the corners. And I recommend putting one in, or a couple at least, in the center. I'm going to open up a new box here. And just so you know, like things like this, I use them all the time for cards. Like, so I'll use them for the back of cards. Okay, that probably isn't enough, but I think it's going to be okay. And then I am going to go ahead and fold my card in half, which should be easy because of the die lines. And then we're just going to center this card. So easy, so cute, very customizable, and I really hope you enjoyed making this.